Some masterclass in how to debag fascists. How many times do I say to you, there's only two things you have to do. You insist on evidence for their claims, and you remind them of their own words. And an American journalist did it rather splendidly this weekend and got precisely the response you will always get if you do it properly. You simply ask them for the evidence of what they're claiming.
There's no
ushered
evidence
into
of
the
that,
building.
There's no evidence of that. Just to be very clear, there's no evidence of what you're saying.
And or you remind them of their own words, which will hideously contradict what they're saying today.
One of your consistent campaign promises was no new wars, going all the way back to 2015. Did you break that promise to the American people?
No.
It's simultaneously gratifying and uniquely depressing, this clip, because like all decent interviewers, I think she shows how easy it is.
Let's call it quits because I've had enough. Thank you, darling. Have a good time.
Mr. President, let's please. I traveled all the way to Wisconsin.
I've sat in the rain with you.
I know.
I've sat in the rain
all the
with
way
you
to
for an
Wisconsin.
hour, on and off in the rain, and I've given you enough time. You ought to straighten out your press because you know what?
Mr.
A
President,
country can never be great with a
all,
dishonest
listen,
press.
we
Come on,
traveled
let's go.
all the way to Wisconsin for this interview.
Okay. Hold on, because I haven't spoken. There's two different things that I think need to be addressed in the clip that we saw from the Meet the Press interview. The first is him alleging that he didn't lose the 2020 election. Trump and his team filed over 60 challenges in court and lost every single one of them. So there is no evidence that held up in court. That's number one issue. The second issue, which to me is just as horrible and needs to be discussed, is his consistent berating and insulting and ad hominem attacks, particularly against women. Whether it's
Give
Kristen,
me a break.
What do you mean give me a break? Kristen Walker this week.
It's Kristen.
Henry Walker,
I'm sorry.
last
I've
week.
worked with
the
Kristen when I worked at the White House.
Will you give me a break?
Have
you no shame as a woman that we hear him call them ugly and piggy and crooked and liars and stupid and bad journalists? Have you absolutely no solidarity with women? Oh my God, I can't believe you sit here and tell me to give you a break. But in this network, we hear him tell our journalists that she's not fit to be a journalist because she doesn't smile. How dare you tell me to give you a break? Have some shame.
Why would the president tell a woman that she doesn't smile enough when she's working, asking him a question?
Because he's an equal opportunity offender, and let's not pretend. Let me explain how the
Give me
game.
another example of
Let me
him
explain how the
telling
game.
a
Let me explain how the game works.
Give me an example of him being equal
Let me explain how the game works because
with that
Caitlin got something out of that
particular
exchange
insult.
too. The president gets a lot out of having combative exchanges with journalists. His base loves it. His poll. That's why I said he should do 2 to 3 more of these a week. His poll numbers go up. But Caitlin's getting something out of it too. So many journalists have made their careers in this country off of being combative with President Trump, Caitlin Collins included, Jim Acosta, many former people. It is all part of the game. It is all part of the theater. She's tough.
Why is it a game
But
to
the
you?
fact that you guys are going to call us a woman problem, Kristen did one of the toughest interviews I have seen someone do with the president.
And he walked up and left because he couldn't take it.
He didn't push back.
She flew all the way to Wisconsin and went to do her job. No, the guy needs to grow up. He's the president of the United States. He He needs to grow up, and instead of walking out,
how many interviews did Biden do? How many interviews did Biden do?
The Biden is like a reflex. Jesus.
It's the truth.
Vengeance for the 2020 election. What are you doing?
I was saying you were making a point.
I know people with wealth and social position that say to me, Donald Trump owes me $5 million, but I'm not going to court. Even big shots are afraid to take him on, and you did it. That's why you're important to the country. You did it.
Thank you. Well, Chris, between you and me, and you know me well enough to know this is true, if I, an elderly, desiccated old lady, can beat
Sophisticated.
if I can beat him twice, I do not understand why the great corporations are bending the knee, why law firms are bending the knees, why Ivy universities are bending the knees, when this old lady beat him twice. It makes no sense. All it takes is a little backbone. That's all it takes.
A viral image of Donald Trump is making the rounds online. It's become the latest source of questions about his health and what is happening behind the scenes at the White House. Now, take a look at this image showing a sort of slack-jawed Trump with what is sometimes known as dementia face. Now, before we go any further, I want to be very upfront with everybody and establish something that I think is important. Nobody can diagnose dementia from a photograph. We can't diagnose Parkinson's from a picture. We can't really diagnose any neurological condition from a single frame captured of Donald Trump in his limo. That's not really what this is about. This is about the political problem that this raises for Donald Trump, because this picture is not going viral in a vacuum. If this were the first weird image, strange physical appearance, first question about Trump's health, and he otherwise was confidently presenting as healthy as he claims to be, nobody would really care. But that's not what's going on. This photograph is landing in the middle of this growing pile of questions that the White House keeps insisting everybody should ignore. What can sometimes happen to people as they age, and particularly when they have dementia, is that they lose muscle tone in the muscles required to hold the mouth shut. You might not think of it, but if you sort of just put your face at rest, to keep the mouth closed, that does actually require some muscle. And sometimes you see that ability diminish in people with dementia. So this image comes out, and it's another sort of medical mystery. And the questions are starting again. Was this taken out of context? What explains this? We have it happening at the exact same time as the delayed medical report. And when you zoom out, you see that the explanations we get for stuff never really satisfy and make us go, okay, yeah, that's what that is. That makes sense. Now, in being as charitable as I think Trump deserves, maybe this photograph is nothing. Maybe the photograph was taken sort of at a weird moment, or the angle made Trump look confused, and I don't know, maybe there's a completely ordinary explanation. But when you combine the image with the administration's obsession with controlling information about Donald Trump's health, it's hard to assume there's nothing here. I start with, we've got to think about what this is, rather than let's not even think about it because it's probably nothing. The picture doesn't prove dementia. I think if anybody's out there diagnosing because of this picture, it's a mistake. But the story is the administration is insisting, and they have for 10 years with propaganda documents, that Trump is in perfect health. And every couple of days, something new happens that makes us say, what on earth is going on?
Down until we had to deal with this situation, but you
didn't have.
That's life. That's dealing with.
That's
with
life.
That's
life. We didn't have to deal with any situation. Trader Trump made it up. Just like we didn't have to deal with his ballroom or anything else, or his horrible personality. That's like a rake on a chalkboard. With his stupid mimicking of lifting weight. I love you, Mommy. I love you, Daddy. What do you know about love? This is a piece of dirt who's not even going to his own son's wedding. God, the sociopathy is unbearable.
And I know I understand this. President Trump makes decisions that are in the best interest of our nation.
But if someone's listening to you and they were paying $2.98 a gallon of gas before the war, paying $4.53. I mean, saying that's life might not, make them feel better.
Those are your words. Those are your words, not mine. I'm saying.
I'm going.
This is the situation.
Oh my God! What is happening? Yeah, those are your words. You just said them, bud. Well, hey, that's life. Hey, I didn't say that's life. You said them. They've all learned at the knee of this con man. I didn't say that. You said that.
Yeah, we're gonna show you guys a clip real quick of what just happened.
As of the time of me making this video, 10:55 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that happened 30 minutes ago in front of the Delaney Detention Facility in Newark, New Jersey. If you have not been following what's happening in Delaney, let me catch you up real quick. Delaney is a previously closed facility that was reopened so that ICE could put their hostages there after they kidnapped them, because ICE, just so you know, isn't out arresting criminals. They're arresting people from workplaces and courthouses and schools and their own homes. These are not criminals. They're just kidnapping people. Well, as of last Friday, the people that are in the Delaney Detention Facility went on a hunger strike to protest their continued detainment there, on top of the abhorrent conditions inside the facility. Protesters started gathering over the weekend in support of the hunger strike, and the people that run the facility decided, if we take the leaders of the hunger strike out of the facility, maybe everybody else will lose their morale to continue this strike. So the protesters blocked off the roads and all the exits so they couldn't do that. So they couldn't take these people prison there somewhere else where their family and loved ones wouldn't even know where they are. Well, I spoke to the guy who made that video. His name is Triv. Here's his social media handle right here, at Who Is King Triv. And I also spoke to the guy with him, Adam Cray. Here's his social media handle, at Adam.Cray. They tell me that ICE came out in a 6-vehicle convoy and removed violently the barricades that the protesters had put there. And so the protesters decided, if you're going to take our barricades out of the roads, then we're going to block the walkway so you can't walk in and out of the prison. So they started putting barricades on the sidewalk and grass. That pissed ICE off. ICE came out in this big group to start trying to strip away their barricades, and the protesters said fuck you, and they started pushing back, and it turned into a clash between the protesters and ICE. I don't believe any protesters were hurt, and I don't believe that anyone was arrested, and I don't give a fuck if any of the ICE guys were hurt, so I didn't ask. This is an ongoing situation. I want to say that I stand in solidarity with the protesters in front of Delaney, and anyone out there putting themselves on the line to stand up against this fascist regime and what they're doing to our neighbors and what they're doing in our country. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Donald Trump was the president in 2020. Donald Trump had his administration govern the FEC. Donald Trump had his administration govern the FBI and the DOJ. So how was the election rigged in 2020 when his administration was in charge of everything? And y'all swear he won in 2024. I got my doubts. The majority of the country has our doubts. But it was the Biden administration that was in charge of everything in 2024. Donald Trump, according to you, won. So if the Biden administration was corrupt and controlled the entire federal government, how was the election not rigged then? But in 2020, when Donald Trump controlled and maintained the federal government, the election was rigged? I mean, to this day, Donald Trump crashes out over this and storms off out of his, interview with Kristen Welker in Wisconsin, swearing the election was rigged in 2020. But Donald Trump and his administration was in control, in power in 2020.
Did you see this? That's Mike Johnson, the House Speaker, saying, look, there's probably fraud in the California elections. Probably. There's got to be. It smells so bad. He just can't prove it because it's like impossible to prove. So we'll just have to take his word for it. No. This disinformation about the California mayoral race has been disproven. It's been disproven by lots of folks, but importantly by the MAGA attorney overseeing it in California. He has come out to say, no, the fraud that you're talking about, the ballot dump that supposedly didn't show any new votes for Spencer Pratt, that's just not true. It doesn't matter. MAGA voters will believe that this election is rigged, no matter what. But the point that Speaker Johnson is making, which is that it's impossible to prove this election fraud, is just absurd. We've had election fraud. It happens rarely, and it mostly happens in local elections, but it's happened. We've proven it. We've found it. We've prosecuted it. Happened as recently as 2023 in the Bridgeport, Connecticut mayoral elections. It's happened in 2003 East Chicago, Indiana mayoral election. It happened in the 1997 Miami mayoral election. I mean, it's happened. It's been proven. It's been prosecuted. The only time you can't prove election fraud is when it doesn't exist. And not for not trying. I mean, 63 federal courts have thrown out Trump's election fraud claims around the 2020 election. Somehow they only rig elections that he loses or that his guys lose. It's amazing how that works. But no, you can prove it. You just can't prove it where it doesn't exist.
So the Denver Post runs an article saying that we just cannot ignore Graham Plattner and the fact that him and his wife went to counseling and got their shit straight. Just can't ignore it. Says old Texas Paul, hope your coffee's as good as mine. Hell, I hope it's better. I really do. I hope you're having a good cup of coffee today. You know, Denver Post, where's your article on Ken Paxton? He was riding a married woman like she was a $10 hooker. In all of this corruption where he got impeached and, his sugar daddy donor moved that woman from San Antonio up to Austin. All the corruption surrounding Ken Paxton. Where are those articles at? I'm seeing a lot of articles about Graham Plattner and shit that's just nowhere near what Ken Paxton did. And while we're on the subject, I remember all those articles about Joe Biden and his age and his cognitive ability. Trump can't stay awake. He fell asleep again today in a press conference. Had a freaking lump on his eye, looked like a third eyeball was trying to grow out or something. I mean, where are your articles on Trump's health? Where are your articles on Trump's corruption? Where are your articles on Ken Paxton? Where are your articles? This bullshit, of us Democrats being held to this ridiculous standard that you will not apply to Republicans. Fuck you. Fuck you. We're not doing that. We're not. Take your hand-wringing article about Graham Plattner, roll it up into a tight little ball, and shove it up your ass.
It's time for the Trucker John live stream. Gonna be a good time. Oh yeah. The trucker John Lobster. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John Lobster. It's gonna be a good time. Gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit. Hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Oh yeah, it's the trucker John Livestream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the trucker John Livestream is the best thing you've ever seen.
Good morning. No, I'm not crying. I'm not crying. You're crying. No. All of a sudden, I think it's another old age thing. When you get old, all of a sudden my eyes started like watering and kind of burning. you know, you know what I mean? Stinging. And of course, it would happen right when the intro was ending. All right. Anyhow, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Thanks for being here. It is 9:57 a.m. in the Pacific time zone with a temperature of 87 degrees. Expected high of 97 today. Oh, no, 99, it says. Out here in beautiful Las Vegas, coming at you from the outer rim, known as Boulder Highway. Thanks, everyone, for being here. Sorry I was late. I think I'm just going to have to probably just put the starting time at 9:30 or maybe 10 o'clock. I don't know. I just can't hit 9. It just seems that I just can't do it for some reason. I don't know why. But anyhow, thanks for being here. I do appreciate you. Let me adjust this camera real quick. This camera angle, I don't know. Anyhow, thanks for being here. I appreciate you. I do see Brooklyn SJU. Trixie LaRue was first in the chat. Might not be here now. Might be at dance class today. So have fun at the dance class. And we'll see you in the replay, apparently. Paul Burrows is here. Hey, Paul. Good to see you. Hope you're feeling better. Recovering, on the road to recovery. Well on the road to recovery there, my friend. Jolie's here. Hello, Jolie. Thanks for being here. I do appreciate you. MJ Daniel from up in Washington State is here. MJ says, Dinky's face tells me how much he likes making people that can do nothing about it angry. Petty, psychotic toddler. Yeah, he's a real piece of work, as my dad would say. It's a piece of work. DPD is here. Hello, DPD. Thanks for coming on in. I appreciate you. For being here. Visantha E1F is here. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming on in. William's here. Hey, William. Good to see you. Good to see William. Hey, guys, make sure you hit that hype button. I don't think it's on the live stream, but if you see a video, Trucker John video, hit the hype button. Like, subscribe, and share, and hype. And I think we're at 4,490 subscribers. We're almost at 4,500. We're getting close to 4,500. And we're trying to get to 5K. Let's get to 5,000 subscribers. You know what happens then? 5K Hennessy Day. Let's get to 5K. I want to see what Hennessy tastes like. DPD says, my husband, father, father-in-law, brother-in-laws, and son attended last night's game. The adults wore their, I guess, fuck you, Trump t-shirts. They were at the game in Madison Square Garden. That's quite a trip. Big trip to New York. To New York City? You went to New York City? Could they be heard in the booing there? In the intro? What a fucking putz Donald Trump is. He creates so much chaos, you know, because of all the security concerns. Bars were closed, restaurants were closed. They're, you know, this is a big fucking event, and these businesses, you know, they rely on that to stay in business. And this motherfucker goes in there and makes a big deal out of this, shuts things down. And then what's he do? He goes in there and he falls asleep. Because this 80-year-old dementia-riddled man who really has no business being president. He's not fit to serve. Remember all the shit, of course, right? About Biden. And they were saying it was elder abuse because people were making him stay in office, basically. Well, looky here. Look what we got here. Okay, look, he's an 80-year-old man. He's going to turn 80 in a few days here. So he's 80. He's obviously got some serious health issues, whatever they are. He probably has a whole range of things. Dementia being one of them. All kinds of physical things going on with the cankles, and he's probably got having strokes, and he's had all kinds of shit. This man is not fit to lead. He should not be the president of the United States. Because it makes him do even stupider shit than he would normally do. Like, oh, I don't know, start an illegal, unwarranted, unnecessary war with Iran, for instance. Just the first thing that kind of pops into mind here. Alton Gillespie's here. Hello, Alton. Good to see you. MJ Daniel says, somebody making a bunch of number 86 and number 47 jerseys probably would have made good money at the game last night. Or 86 in the front and 47 on the back. DPD says, my husband also texted me the orange pedophile brought a date. His granddaughter Kai, I think it is. Don't tell me no one else thought about it. I don't know, but the thing I was wondering about, now this picture kind of crops it out, but his buddy, whoever the fuck that is, next to him in the orangey, peachy, orangey kind of jacket there, he also was asleep. Oh shit. That's what I get for playing around with it. You know what they say, when you keep playing around with it, it's gonna do something. Anyhow, but I have a feeling the guy next to him was like, he really wasn't sleeping, but he was probably like, oh shit, boss is sleeping, I better sleep. Oh, boss is okay, I better do it. I better just do it too, just to make it look, normal. We're only at Madison Square Garden with 20,000 people screaming fans. It's completely normal to just nod off. Stay home, Trumpy. Go to bed. Brooklyn says he had her as a human shield, talking about his granddaughter. I hope TJ is okay. Yeah, I'm okay. You know me. When am I ever on time? No, I literally make these intros, right before the show, and it just sometimes takes me a little longer to do it, and to get it all uploaded and everything. So that's really all that was going on. Christina Weibel's here. Hey, Christina, good to see you. She says, we hate you, Dinky. 8647. Christina Weibel says, as a woman, I know Dinky hates all women, even if they kiss his ass. Yeah, to him, women are only for his own gratification. That's all. That's all. He just objectifies women, and they are not really meant to be in any type of positions of power or anything like that. So he resents that, and if a woman challenges him, like what is it, Kristen Welker did the other day, he just can't handle that. He cannot handle it. Christina Weibel, I believe E. Jean Carroll. DBD says E. Jean Carroll is a saint and deserves all respect and more. All the respect. Yep. I do agree. I did set the goal. We're at for 5 super chats, super stickers. Just mentioning that as I'm scrolling to the part where this is where the goal was created. So a little reminder there. We do have a goal. It's good to have goals. Like the 5 super chat, super sticker goal is a good goal. And the goal for 5,000 subscribers. We're at 4490. Thank you everyone for subscribing. I appreciate you. Help get out the word. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Comment. MJ Daniel, Jim Jordan likes to watch. Yeah. He's sick. Jim Jordan did nothing as he saw fellow. Now I forget if during the time if he was a coach, because I know he wrestled in college, and then I think he was maybe he was a coach too, but he saw wrestlers on the wrestling team, college wrestling team, being molested. And he said nothing by the team doctor, apparently, right? He said and did nothing. He Sergeant Schulted it. I feel like this is falling over again. I don't know. I know. Supposed to just leave it. Just leave it alone, John. Stop picking at it. Don't pick at it. I'll never learn. I'll never learn, will I? Josh Sees is here. Always good to see Josh Sees in the driver's lounge. Of course, we know that Josh Sees has been working in the theater. It's falling again. It's falling. Because I won't leave it alone. I just can't not touch it. And I done broke off the little plastic little. There was a little grip thing on the bolt that you twist down to tighten it. I've done broke that. All right, hopefully I'll try not to touch it anymore. Stop touching it. What was I talking about? Jim Jordan? Yeah, he was watching. He knew what was going on. And he did nothing. He said nothing. And even I think even years later, when those guys started taking the school to court, the doctor had since passed away. By the time they were started suing and everything, the doctor had long passed away. I think they asked Jim Jordan to come and speak on their behalf, or to lend his testimony, and I don't think he did. I don't think he didn't do it. He wouldn't do it. Why not, Jim? Anyhow, Josh Sees is here. But he's in the theater. He's doing some theater things. He's doing theater things. WW says life is. Good grammar there, Teach. Life is awful. I know it's typos. Things happen. Awful to admit that I have lost the equivalent of a half year's salary in 2 days. Oh, because of the stock market crashing or something? Do you have... No, it's none of my business, I guess, but you got like mutual funds, and where you can divide it up between high risk, medium risk, and low risk? Did you put everything in the high risk like a dummy? You gotta spread it around a little bit. You can't put all your eggs in one basket. WW, have we all learned nothing? Or WW going on again about S&P. SPX has already lost over 2% today. Well, you know what? The stock market, you know what they say about the stock market? That it's just gambling. It's just legalized gambling. MJ Daniel says we will find out if Americans have learned anything in November. MJ says I have doubts. I know I don't want to get overly optimistic about it, but I mean, based on all these elections that have been going on, special elections, and even things going on, where we've seen Democrats kind of overperform in some cases. I mean, that does provide encouragement, but yeah, I mean, I don't want to get cocky or overconfident. We still got to vote. And speaking of voting, today is voting day here in Nevada. I got my ballot. I missed my early voting window for the one that's right behind her. There were other places I could have gone, but my voting little place is literally right behind this building, this other apartment building where I'm at. So I'm going to walk it over there right after the show. I'm just going to walk it over there and drop my ballot into the box. Of course, I'm all blue all the way through. I'm all blue all the way through. WW says hunger strike only hurts the striker. Yeah, but it's those hunger strikers at Delaney Hall weren't getting any attention until they started a hunger strike. So, I mean, they were there, a lot of those people, for a year, I think, or over a year, and not really getting any results, not seeing any resolution to all these things. And they started the hunger strike, and they started getting some attention, national attention. So, I mean, from that aspect, it worked, as far as getting some attention on their plight. I hope this thing isn't falling again. I don't know. It just looks weird. I want to touch it. I want to touch it so bad, but I'm gonna refrain from touching it. By it, I mean the Ring camera light thing that I use basically as a tripod for my camera. I don't really use the light. I don't use the light at all, because it would just blind me. Because I have the camera right there, and it's anyhow. WW Ice are humans too. It would be nice if they started acting like it. It'd be real nice if they started acting like humans. WW, the Israeli Defense Force, learned their tactics from German Gestapo. I believe that. I believe that. It does seem like it. DPD says, why did Welker apologize for the orange pedophile by blaming the miscommunications with the weather instead of just acknowledging he fucking disrespected her? I don't know. I didn't see that. I don't know what that was about. I have no idea what that's about. And WW says ISIS learned their tactics from the Israeli Defense Forces. So going full circle here, I guess. I don't know. And then the Boy Scouts learned their tactics from the ICE people. I know. That was a joke. As far as I know, the Boy Scouts are not doing anything bad. WW just says 2020. I don't know. Okay. Fine. Thanks. Good. Whatever. WW 2020, or he says, Uncle Joe, oh God, how I miss him. Oh God, how I miss him. Oh, I miss him. How I miss him. I just wish Kamala Harris would have won. I'm trying not to live in the past. I just wish Kamala Harris would have won, and we would not be in any of this fucking shit that we're in now. I guess our biggest worry would be like, how soon could we get Medicare for all enacted? WW says Dirty Donnie is going to get JD to resign. Really? Oh. I get it. That's why I think. Oh, that's why you said WW. That's little Mikey, talking about Mikey Johnson, our next POTUS. So then he would get JD to resign, and then make Johnson VP, his VP, and then he would resign, and then he would become president. I don't think he has to go through all that. I think JD would just be more than willing to give him whatever pardons he wants. Wouldn't he? I don't know. MJ Daniel says Arizona did more than one recount and found more votes for Biden. So did, I guess, Alabama. Alabama. So how does that happen? Yeah, it happens because someone was trying to suppress those votes. And they did the recounts that they had insisted on doing. I'm touching it. They insisted on doing those recounts. You know, the MAGA basically insisted. I just won't be happy until the whole damn thing just collapses here. And whenever they did the recounts, they found out, oh, here was a vote for Biden that didn't get counted. And almost every time they find some sort of double voting or illegal voting, it's almost always a Republican. Almost always a Republican. I would say 99% of the time it's a Republican. WW says Ken Paxton is an asshole. It just feels like this is moving. Stop moving. I don't know. I don't know, man. I need a new camera holder or something. Oh, where was I at? Ken Paxton, he's an asshole, and he's just an awful human being. Him and his buddy, Greg Abbott, probably two of the most despicable human beings you're ever going to meet. Right up there with Trumpy. WW, bring back Al Franken. I think Al Franken, though, quite frankly, Franken is very probably, I think, happy to be retired from politics, and he's a grandfather, and he lives in Minnesota, and I think, that window has passed. So, all right, stop pining for Joe Biden, stop pining for Al Franken. Time to move on. Time to move on. It's the time of AOC and such. All right? And James Tallarico, who I think is going to win. I think he's going to beat Paxton. He should. I realize it's Texas, but I mean, come on, Texas. Don't you have some scruples, you people out there in Texas? You would actually vote for fucking Ken Paxton? How about this? How about you Republicans just stay home? You can't bring yourself to vote for a Democrat, so just stay home and just sit this one out then. Because you should not be voting for Ken Paxton, who is just an awful, awful human being, just like you should never have voted for Trump, who is an awful, awful human being. But when does that ever stop people from voting for someone, I guess? MJ Daniel says, GOP, the party of Newt Gingrich, Rudy Giuliani, DJT, Denny Hastert, Jim Jordan. Seems that the GOP has a sexual predator and cheating problem, not the Democrats. Right, and when we do have one, say like Anthony Weiner, such a appropriate name, we get rid of him. I swear to God, I don't mean to keep touching this thing, but it just seems like it just keeps ever so slightly moving, and it just bugs the shit out of me. It's bugging the shit out of me. Anyhow, I'm afraid that when I look down to read the chat, I'm going to look back up and the camera's going to be on the floor or something. Anywho, where'd I leave off? Christina Y will love Texas Paul. Texas Paul, he's a good old boy. He's a good old boy. He's a good old boy from down there, Texas way. Michelle says we thought we could bring the Republican Party and Congress up to us, but they are dragging us down. They're dragging us down. Down, down, down. What do you mean we thought we could bring the Republican Party in Congress? I don't even understand that statement. When did we think that we could bring the Republican Party in Congress up to us? I don't remember thinking that. I've always thought the Republican Party was a scumbag party. I've never voted Republican in my life, and I never will. All right, I never will, unless things somehow drastically flip flop or something. W says, "Don't cry, Johnny." Oh yeah, this must be when the intro ended. I'm just reading the chat, you guys. You know how I do. So I'm just not getting into the chat where apparently when I came on, I was rubbing my eye. Rubbing my eyes. DPD says, Christina, I wish I could say the same. You can't fix a problem unless you acknowledge it first, unless you acknowledge it first. And this is something he refuses to do with our party. And yes, I am a lifelong Democrat. This is something he refuses to do with our party. I don't understand that. Who are you talking about? Who's the he that refuses to do? Brooklyn leaving for class at 1:15 or something. David Weiss from Denver. Hello, David Weiss. Good to see you. Thanks for popping on in. Oh, thanks for popping on in. Jolie says 85 here, and it's so humid. It's miserable outside. I hate humidity. I tell you what, that whole thing, people always go, it's a dry heat, like it's a big joke. Well, the dry, it makes a big difference. It does. WW, I'll be in Denver in October. Good for you. What are you going to do in Denver in October? Go see a Broncos game or something? What are you going to do in Denver? What the hell are you going to do in Denver? Things to do in Denver. What was that movie? Things to do in Denver when you're dead or something like that. I don't know. Oh, okay. His niece is getting married. All right. I'll allow it. I'll allow it. You may go. Jolie, 5K to Hennessy Day. Yeah, we're almost there. We're not almost there, but we're almost to 4,500. Which still puts us, 500 short, but we're getting there little by little. Maybe by the time this time next year, we'll be there. I don't know. Brooklyn says, "Looky here, George Clooney." Don't know what that means. WW doesn't matter. I would have been fine if Uncle Joe was still in office, but no, you had to be assholes and insist on Cammy. I didn't want Joe Biden to step down, even after that debate. That was the thing, right? That was the whole thing that caused the whole thing. And I was just like, okay, we're going to get through this, because the next morning he was out campaigning. He looked fine, looked great. He was like the old Joe of old, and I'm like, okay, we can do this. We can do this. We can. If Joe can maintain and that type of spirit there that he's showing there the next day there, by golly there, we can do this. We can we can overcome this little gaffe. And they would probably have to have another debate. I think they had another debate scheduled, at least one more. And he would sure as hell have to make sure that he didn't repeat the same kind of performance. But I was all for let's move on, let's move forward. And I was confident that Biden was going to win. He's the incumbent, for God's sakes. That's a big deal. But then, speaking of George Clooney, the George Clooneys and the whoever's, even the Pelosi, I don't, you know, they started getting word about donors backing out and all this kind of shit. So there was just so much pressure put on him by I wasn't giving him the pressure. I was like, no, let's go for it. Let's full speed ahead, Joe. You can overcome this. But then the pressure was just too much for him to leave, for him to step down, losing so much support, and having big donors is a big deal. The way our system runs. So he stepped down, and I was really, really bummed out that day that he announced that he was stepping down from the campaign. I was pretty much crushed for like a few hours, couple hours, and then I was like, okay, let's. I immediately went to I think they already had a Kamala Harris or Act Blue or whatever. I don't know. Somehow I went ahead and put in like $27 to the Kamala Harris campaign or to Kamala Harris or whoever, you know, right away. I was just like, boom, let's do this. Let's fucking do this. We're not going to let this stop us. We're not going to let Donald Trump defeat us. We're still going to be on the same goals, the same trajectory. We're still, it's about winning this election and making sure that Donald Trump never gets near the levers of power ever again. Here we are. Here we are. TJ, were you doing your Stephen Chung impression? Is that who was sitting next to Trump? I don't know. Brooklyn SJU says, I saw a movie about Lorne Michaels. It showed Al Franken. He had too much honor and left too fast. Well, see, he's a good Democrat. He didn't want to drag it out. Hey, look at there, DPD. Thank you so much. Yippee! $20 super chat. Thank you so much. DPD says, has anyone considered what happens if the regime is not pleased with the outcome of the midterms and they decide to take it to the illegitimate, corrupt SCOTUS? Please don't think this is not a stark possibility. Then what? I don't know. Do you think 340 million people are going to take that lying down? I don't. I think we'll see all hell break loose if that happens. All hell will break loose if they try that shit. This isn't 2000 anymore. Okay? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. Watch me hit this drive. I don't know. This isn't 2000 anymore. This isn't Al Gore versus Bush anymore. If they try that shit, then I think you will see people in the streets. You will see people tipping over cars and setting them on fire, and you will see just mass chaos and mayhem. Because that's how people do. They hurt themselves. They hurt each other instead of hurting the people that need to be hurt. DPD says, yes, TJ, Blind Eyes Jordan was an assistant wrestling coach when Richard Strauss was the team doctor. Finally, the victims are receiving a settlement. Mad Max, Slava Ukraini. Slava Ukraini. Absolutely. Danny Pomeroy's here. Hey, Danny, good to see you. Thanks for popping on into the driver's lounge. I do appreciate you. Danny Pomeroy says, John, just put it this way. The Americans that are watching what's playing out in real time with the lawlessness in the Rump Watch crime family is getting zero tax oversight for the family in business. Wait, I'm going to have to read that again. I have no idea what you just said. Something about lawlessness. Put it this way. Americans that are watching what's playing out in real time with the lawlessness in the Rump Watch crime family is getting zero tax oversight for the family and business. The people that are watching are getting zero tax oversight for the family and business? Okay. Well, we all know that Trump is a tax cheater and he's going to do everything he can to keep from paying taxes. We all already know that. It's not news. Danny Pomeroy says it's going to be interesting in what Blanche says to the federal judge. They just tried to con and put her name on the document. They appear in front of her Friday to explain their little con. They got some explaining to do. W says, I would agree with you, John. And if the world was really any more involved with Delaney Hall, most folks don't care. Well, I think people who see the stories care. So that's why I put them out there. Me and Jolly. Okay? It's me and Jolly. We put those stories out there. I'm trying to stay hydrated. Stay hydrated, my friends. Wally Star 24 is here. Hey, Wally. Hey, Wally Star. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Wally Star says, good morning, Trucker John. Have you had a chance yet to look up the worldwide definition of MAGA, especially in Japanese and in Latin? It doesn't mean make America great again. That's for sure. No, I haven't looked it up. Michelle says, Sugar John, you look great. Thank you. He has like a little beard. I'm probably going to shave it. I always let it grow out for a couple weeks and then I shave it. I don't like it when it gets bigger than this. And I my little trimmer, I have a little trimmer on my little electric razor that I could just keep it probably this length because I kind of like this length. I don't like a big bushy. I mean, if I could grow a big beautiful Phil Ittner beard, that I would do it, but I can't. So I like it just kind of short like this. But my little trimmer thing, like a couple of little teeth or whatever, that broke. So it's pretty worthless. So I need to get either a new, and then I don't know where you can. I haven't been able to find replacement pieces for that. They just snap on. There's just this little, little things. But anyway, it's a whole story. It's a whole thing. Danny Pomeroy John just made his 2-minute drill podcast. about Paxton cut and paste that, John. Well, by the way, I was going to ask you guys. I do. If you've seen them, some of you have probably seen the little shorts that I make from these live streams. I've just been doing like 1 minute little shorts. And if you guys have any ideas of what you think would be a good place for me to clip out a short, let me know. And you can do that in Discord. The Discord link is in the description, I think, of the channel, because I don't know how to do it right now. I'll paste in my Discord. But you can go to Discord, go to the Truckers Lounge, and you can leave a little comment there and let me know the timestamp of what you think would be a good place for me to make a clip for a short. You guys, if you want, I know it's not like you have all this time and I got so much time, Trucker John. I'm just gonna put timestamps and go to your Discord and put it in there for you. I know we all have time constraints, but if you have the time to do it, go to Discord. If there's a place somewhere in this live stream that you think would be a good clip for a short, just go to Discord and just let me know and just give me an idea of where it is in the time stamp. I mean, it doesn't have to be an exact time stamp, but if you go like, at about the 1 hour 37 minute mark, that was a good thing there, or whatever. I don't know. You know what I mean? Michelle, they go low, we go high, but now we got the fact bat. No, Michelle, when they go low, we shove their heads into the ground. DPD, I was referring to Texas Paul, TJ. What about Texas Paul? I don't know. I don't even remember. I'm scrolling back. I don't even remember what you said, or what I said, or what someone said about someone that apparently was about Texas Paul. Oh, about the fact bat? Yeah, I know. I knew that was about Texas Paul, but I did my thing. I did my spin. WW says the petroleum companies who got Dirty Dolly elected are reaping the benefits of their loyalty. Remember, he bring them all down to Mar-a-Lago, and he said, if you guys give me $1 billion, then I'll do whatever you want, or something like that. Remember? So, yeah. And it was all pretty much out there. This kind of corruption. We knew about it. We heard about it. I heard about it. If I heard about it, then why can't everybody else hear about it? He had fossil fuel tycoons at Mar-a-Lago, and he asked for $1 billion in campaign contributions, I believe, didn't he? I don't remember if that was $1 billion each or $1 billion in total, but he said, if you give me this money, I will make you guys even richer, I think is what he said. WW conspiracy, Uncle Joe was just too dopey in that debate. He looked dopey, but if you listen to the words coming out of his mouth, he won that debate. But he just looked really bad. WW, somebody slipped him a Mickey. He was sick. Didn't they find out he had COVID or some shit? Definitely he was sick. I'm just not coming to DPD's $20 super chat again. Thank you. Yippee. I gave you the thumbs up and a heart. And yes, I think if they try to do that, pull some shit on the midterm election, and they try to disallow it, and they try to take it to the Supreme Court, I think all fucking hell will break loose in some way. Again, this isn't 2000 anymore. Do you know, TJ, I was referring to you making the neck movements. I don't even remember what neck movements I made. I was making neck movements? I don't even know. I have no idea what you're talking about. Danny Pomeroy, Trump lost over 35% of American farmers going bankrupt. Danny Pomeroy, Iowa voted Democrat. Are you talking about recently? They didn't vote in 2024, did they? You're talking about some recent elections or something? But yeah, the farmers are getting fucked. The farmers, it's going to be way more than 35% going bankrupt. They're all going to go bankrupt if they don't, it's going to be all these like family-owned farms and they're not the big corporate companies. They're all going to go bankrupt, and then they're all going to get bought out by the big corporations for pennies on the dollar. And the sad part about it is these motherfuckers would still vote for Trump. Most of them, the majority of those motherfuckers that are going to be losing their farms because of Trump's policies would still turn around and vote for Trump again. That's how fucking stupid these motherfuckers are. When it comes to this shit, they're stupid. I've heard some of them talk about farming shit. They know all about farming shit. They know all about, return on investment in their soybeans, and they can give you all kinds of fucking crop data and National Weather Service data and all kinds of fucking, futures. They can give you like futures, stock market futures, on crops and shit, and pork bellies or whatever, and it sounds smart as fucking shit when it comes to that shit. But when it comes to fucking having some sense about who to vote for, about who is the better, for their own self-interest, a Republican or a Democrat, they're stupid as shit. I don't get it, man. How can you be so smart on all kinds of other shit about farming shit and be so goddamn stupid, especially when the Republicans have hit you over the head with a sledgehammer the last 3 or 4 times, and you still don't fucking get it? How many times do you got to be slugged before you fucking get who it is that's slugging you? That might be a good clip. So someone send me in Discord what the timestamp is on that. It just helps me to find it. If you guys, so anyhow, whatever. Sketchy Rhodes is here. Sketchy. He says free from tax audits. Is that what Danny Pomeroy was talking about? I don't know. WW says he's a small man, a banty rooster. Beautiful to watch. His razor-sharpened spurs destroy his opponent. Who destroys him at the same time? Pain. You build me up and make me a believer. I have no idea what that was about, but it sounded kind of beautiful. DVD says, does anyone know the Statue of Liberty is next item to be destroyed? I did not know that. 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 God, I almost drank this whole bottle already. I'm gonna have to go grab another bottle. I'm trying to stay hydrated out here in this high desert heat. I did not know that the Statue of Liberty is the next item to be destroyed. Is that part of Project 2025? It seems like Trump is just going down Project 2025. Is that on the list too? For God's sakes, is nothing sacred with these fuckers? What are they going to do? Like change the inscription from like we take the huddled masses and all that shit to like get the fuck out, turn around, bitch. We don't want you, or something like that. Is that what they're going to change the thing? WWE says everybody jokes, but it wasn't that long ago that millions had to be spent to repair that rusty old lady in the harbor. Well, yeah, it's just a thing called corrosion and shit and dampness and rust. WWE says they said it would have been faster and easier to take her apart. You can go back and read the stories. Nobody was willing to see the harbor without the statue, although covered with scaffolding and plastic. Was she really there underneath? I believe so. Thank you, Jolie. There is the link to Discord. So if there's a point in the live stream here that you think that would make a good short, just leave me the little timestamp there and go to the driver's lounge section of Discord to do that. I think that would be the best one, maybe, because the other ones I have, one's for the 5K thing, and then another one is for clips. Maybe the clips, either one. Well, I'll find it. So I doubt any of you will do it anyhow. So I don't even know why I'm worrying about it. WW says he said that he fixed Social Security. Who? Trump said that? WW, he did give me back my Social Security windfall, about $400 a month. I stopped having to pay for Medicare. Thanks, Biden. Oh, of course Biden fixed it. Democrats fix shit. Republicans just want to take everything away and privatize everything because billionaires just don't have enough money. Apparently. There's never enough money for billionaires. Speaking of billionaires, it looks like Tom Steyer is not going to be in the running for governor of California. To which I say, even though I think I did say that if I lived in California, I probably would have voted for him. But him not making it, I really don't give a fuck. I really don't. I think Bashir is going to win. So as long as a Democrat wins, that's really all I care about. I think Bashir will win. At the end of the day, Steyer's a billionaire, and I don't really like billionaires, to tell the truth. Although I would have voted for him because he's probably, as billionaires go, a little more on the decent side. WW says, I used to be a farmer, sold the farm. My millionaire cousin bought it. I guess for $12K an acre. He's so poor, can't help but feel sorry for him, older than me, but still farming. So is he still a millionaire, or he's not a millionaire anymore? Because of the farming? WW never voted Democrat in their lives. Well, that's to their own detriment, isn't it? It's to their own goddamn detriment. Keep voting for Republicans and you keep getting the shit knocked out of you. DBD, this is a strange question. It says, TJ, do you hydrate your beard daily? Try using coconut oil or argan and jojoba oils, or jojoba, I don't know. You can also exfoliate weekly by cleaning around your facial hair and do wash your beard to remove the excess oils? That sounds rather personal, for one thing. I wash my beard when I take a shower and I use my shampoo. I just rub it into my beard, okay? That's enough. That's good enough. And I don't have money to buy coconut oil and argan and jojoba oils. I barely have enough money to get some ham and eggs. I just realized I did get a little delivery shopping, some groceries delivery last night, and I forgot to order butter or margarine. Whatever. What's the one I buy? Or whatever. And I'm completely out. And I thought I ordered it, and I didn't. Apparently, I didn't order it. Anyhow, so now I got to order some more or something. MJ Daniel says cost of diesel and fertilizer costs are the only thing farmers are concerned about. And I bet you they were doing pretty good under Biden. Will they remember that? How can they not see that they do better under Democrats? And I don't know. I don't know how they can't. They're so smart about pork bellies and futures and farm futures and shit, but they can't figure out that they do better under Democrats. And whenever Republicans are in power, they're losing their farms. That's why that's how Farm Aid started, for fuck's sake. In the fucking 80s. They had to have Farm Aid. Willie Nelson had to make Farm Aid because everyone was losing their fucking farms because of fucking 12 years of Reagan and Bush. Well, they were like in the middle of that. The 12 years wasn't done yet, but why can't they get this shit through their fucking thick fucking farm heads? The big fucking fat farmer heads. They know all about pork bellies and soybean crops and fucking humidity and dew levels and soil, good soil and shit, moisture in the soil and all that. They know all that shit. They can't figure out that when Republicans are in power, they start losing their fucking farms. And when Democrats are in power, they fucking do great. What the fuck does it take, man? Stop listening to Rush Limbaugh. He's dead, I know, but they're probably still listening to him. Stop listening to Fox News. Stop listening to Tucker Carlson and John Hannity and those fucking assholes. For Christ's sakes. Send me a Discord on that one, timestamp. DPD says, remember this motherfuckers break shit first. These motherfuckers break shit first and ask questions later, and then it's too late. Yeah. As far, yeah, I'm talking about the Statue of Liberty because we see what he did to the East Wing. He just started tearing it apart. And even though I guess injunctions have been done and court things have, to shut it down, but it's destroyed now. So they should just make him put it all back the way it was, out of his own pocket. He's supposedly a billionaire. Donald Trump is supposedly a multi-billionaire. They should just make him rebuild the East Wing exactly the way it was. Let's put it all back together. Talking about the Statue of Liberty, MJ Daniel says national monument symbolizing the welcome of immigrants to the USA. So of course DJT and MAGA hate it. Yep. Danny Pomeroy says farmers are pissed off. The big guy Don lost their biggest customer, China. That's what's driving the bankruptcy, and Biden had China buying back. Trump killed it. Wake up. Wake up. There's Jolie reminding us about channel memberships. We do have memberships starting as low as $1.99. We've got some mid-tier one there at $4.99, I think it is. So membership's a great way to support the show, and if you would consider doing that, if you could do that, that would be great. Great way to help out the show. We've also got the Buy Me a Coffee link and the PayPal link there, and those are a little more instantaneous. But all good ways of supporting the show. Also, liking, subscribing, hyping, and sharing. Those don't cost you a dime, because I know we're all going through it. And if you can't donate financially, liking, hyping, sharing, all that good stuff is a great way. Oh, DPD, what about Plattner? You know what? I haven't really been. I don't know all the fine details of it. Apparently, they are putting out shit. The right wing. Was that in the clip about the sort of that was the Texas Paul thing, right? About this really double standard about, they want to put some shit out about Plattner, but they're not putting anything out about fucking, Paxton, who is a really just disgusting, deplorable human being, Paxton. The things I've heard about Plattner, okay, yeah, maybe he was a little shitty, maybe he was a little rough, maybe coming back from the war, he had some issues, maybe there was some PTSD there, but by all accounts, from what I've seen, the girlfriends say he was a good guy. Most of them say he was a good guy, a good boyfriend, but some of them say, yeah, he yanked me out of the car, or one, like, I guess pushed her into a room or something, and tried to lock her in the room. Okay, that's not good. That's not good. But I think he got into therapy, and I think he's working out his issues. And the guy's got PTSD, and he's got things. And I'm not saying that excuses everything, and you can just push women around. But I think the main gist I'm getting is that the girlfriends he had said he's a good guy, and there's a few of them that said, yeah, well, there's a couple times where it got a little scary. He pushed me, or got a little rough. It was a little bit rougher than necessary, like pulling me out of a car or something like that. Yeah, that's not a good look, and I'm not condoning that or excusing that. But I don't think it's nearly, I don't think it's a deal killer. Now, I don't live in Maine, so the Mainers are going to do what the Mainers are going to do. But if I lived in Maine, I would vote for Glenn Plattner. Or is his name Glenn, right? Graham Glenn. I would vote for Glenn. I would vote for George Plattner over Susan Collins. I would vote for Mavis Plattner over Susan Collins. Okay? Susan Collins, because if you want to put side by side Susan Collins' life and Graham Plattner's, I think Graham Plattner is a better human being, even with some of the little, questionable things there. I think he's a much better human being. I think Susan Collins is a piece of shit. It's because of Susan Collins that we still have Donald Trump around. Her vote could have fucking, I believe, she had the deciding vote to convict and remove Donald Trump in impeachment. So fuck Susan Collins. You're a piece of shit, Susan Collins. You're a horrible person. You don't care about women's rights. You don't care about how awful Donald Trump is. It's because of people like you that the entire world is suffering now. Not just America. The entire fucking world is suffering because of Donald Trump. So fuck you, Susan Collins. So yes, I would vote for Greg, George, Harry Plattner. I don't give a fuck. I would vote for any Plattner over Susan Collins any day of the fucking week. I don't care how many Nazi tattoos he has. I would still vote for him. Because at the end of the day, even with the Nazi tattoos and even with the little rough handling of some of the girlfriends, he's still a million times better than Susan fucking Collins. Mr. Spock is here, the Fowler. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming on in, Mr. Spock. I do appreciate you. WW, he's a billionaire. Graham Plattner is not a billionaire. If you're talking about Graham Plattner, he's not even a 100 millionaire. I don't believe. I've heard his family is wealthy. Does that mean they're multimillionaires? And does that mean that he's wealthy because his mom and dad are wealthy? He's a fucking fisherman. He fishes fucking, what are the clams or shit? Some shit. Wally Starr says farmers are going bankrupt. Yeah, they are. Average American is paying high prices, but in 5 days, if you have $1 million, you can buy a UFC ticket for the event this Sunday. All of these let them eat cake moments with Donald Trump and these motherfuckers. Yeah, we can't afford to put gas in our gas tanks. Grocery prices are going up. Everything's going up, and up. And I think even unemployment's going up, even though there was a big jobs thing. This came out. I don't know if that dropped the unemployment rate or not. And those are temporary jobs. I think most of those were temporary jobs. So in any case, people are struggling financially. And Donald Trump is going to have this event where, with $1 million tickets and shit. It is so, French Revolution shit, Mad Max says, I sure hope that the farmers didn't and will not fall for the orange pedos, lies, and bullshit this time around. Well, they did last time around. 80% of these motherfuckers voted for Trump. 80% of the farmers, they voted for Trump. And I'll believe it when I see it as far as I'm learning their lesson. When it comes to politics, they're stupid as shit. Like I said, they know fucking soybean futures and pork bellies, and they know dew levels and moisture and humidity, and they know all that shit. But they can't figure out who's fucking them over in the White House. MJ Daniel says, farmers were doing well with Biden, voted DJT anyway. Yeah. Because they're brainwashed. They're fucking brainwashed. Through 30 years of Fox News and 40 years of Rush Limbaugh. They're fucking brainwashed, man. DPDs, Vaseline will work well. I didn't realize a man's beard was that person. Well, like it was kind of personal. Like, what do you do? What do you use? What do you blah 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 do? That's I don't know. I don't talk about that kind of stuff. I don't talk about that. I just don't talk about that kind of stuff. I don't know. It just seems personal. Maybe that's what women talk about. I don't talk about that kind of stuff. Danny Pomeroy, they are still doing Farm Aid, I believe, asked Willie about voting Trump. Did he vote for Trump? I don't know. Well, Farm Aid became an event. Like, yeah, it was raising money for farmers and shit, but I think even when they didn't really need it, they still did it because it was a big musical event, like a festival. Michelle, I think we should sue him for the East Wing. I thought someone was suing him about that. I don't know. Oh, Stephanie B. Hello, everyone from Juneau, Alaska. The cruise is amazing. That's right. Stephanie went on the cruise to Alaska. Awesome. Thanks for checking in on your cruise. Sounds like you're having a great time. The cruise is amazing, you said. So awesome. I'm jealous, man. I would like to go on. I've never been on a cruise. I think I would like to do it like at least once, maybe. I'm not sure if I would want to be, unless I really loved it, maybe I would do it more than once, but I would like to do at least one cruise, WW says, Jolie knows about spider mites. I hope you didn't take any home. Okay, whatever. WW, any dope I grew was full of spider mites. Okay, watch out for the spider mites. Mr. Spock says ladybugs get rid of spider mites. Spider mites. Danny Pomeroy says Trump just did his stop in Wisconsin. Yeah, that's where the whole Kristen Walker interview was at. All he could talk about was him in the reflection pool was bigger than the 3 largest skyscrapers in New York City in his golden ballroom. Farmers, that's Dim's fault. Okay, whatever. Okay, so here's DPD. Maybe we can get some more insight here. DPD says Lindsay Fifield, Plattner's accuser, belongs to. Yeah, I do know that one of those women was like definitely like a right wing, a right winger, I think. Anyhow, so DPD says Lindsay Fifield. I don't know if that's the right spelling. Plattner's accuser belongs to the independent women's vote ran by Heather Higgins, who was synonymous in helping Brent ask Julian Kavanaugh's rise to illegitimate SCOTUS. Yeah, so I think there's that at least one of the accusers is suspect, is highly sus, and that's one of them. I peopled yesterday says the D is nice, but Plattner will be Tulsi Gabbard 2.0, so he'll need to be watched carefully. But even if he is, because I've said this before, even if he turns out to be Tulsi Gabbard or Kirsten Sinema, he's still better than Susan Collins being there. Because Susan Collins is a right-wing lickspittle. She's a shill. Even Kirsten Sinema still voted, along with Democrats. I want to say over 90% of the time, or at least high 80s. How many times did Susan Collins do that? Probably 0. Probably close to 0%. Even Joe Manchin, whom I don't like at all, who I think is a piece of shit, still voted along Democratic lines, party lines. I'm sure it was well over 80 or 90% of the time. That's still better than you're going to get out of any Republican. So even if Plattner turns out to be Tulsi Gabbard, I don't know if he's going to be Tulsi Gabbard, but more like a Kirsten Sinema or whatever, or even a Fetterman, which I don't doubt. Which I doubt. I mean, Plattner has come out against Fetterman, right? But even if he turns out to be something like that, like a Fetterman or a Sinema or a Manchin or whatever, he's still better than fucking Susan Collins. I don't know how many more times I have to say that before it sinks in. How many times I got to say it before like even John Fetterman is better than if Dr. Oz, wasn't Oz the one who he was running against in the general? John Fetterman is still better than if Oz had won it, Dr. Oz. I don't know why that's so hard for people to accept or acknowledge. You know? Danny Pomeroy says the main event at the White House has a 60% chance of thunderstorms and 90% chance of lightning. Be careful what you pray for. Okay, I don't know who's praying for what there. DPD says, and yes, TJ, Susan, I'm concerned Collins was the deciding vote, and Plattner's father was in real estate and lawyer, and his mom was entrepreneur and restaurant owner. Which I have no problem with that. I don't give a fuck. Good for them. Good for them. Jolie says, every time Liberal Dan goes on a cruise, he comes home with COVID. Oh, yeah, they are Petri dishes. That's true. But he does those like Disney cruises and shit, right? I wonder if the Alaskan cruises are different because it's like cold, crisp, cold, clear air. I don't know. I guess not. But yeah, that's right. I remember that now. Liberal Dan doing that. Well, they have a new vaccine coming out, and I am fully vaxxed and boosted. And then wasn't it Hal or somebody was just talking about this new COVID vaccine that like covers it's going to cover all strains of COVID. I'm going to get that puppy. Joy to Farm 2 is here. Hey, Joy. Thanks for being here. Thanks for popping on in. Not sure if I've seen you before, so welcome to the Driver's Lounge. Joy to Farm 2 says, my friend lives in Juneau. I went up there for her wedding. She met a guy online and moved up there from Idaho. Wow. Sounds kind of exciting, actually. MJ Daniels says Collins is pretty much Lindsey Graham. I've never seen them in the same room together. Doesn't make sense. Is she also? I don't know. I'm not going to say it. DVD says that's how you spell her name, TJ Fifield. Okay, I wasn't sure. I know it's weird. Yeah, Fiffeld. Hey, Fiffeld, get over here. Is that what Plattner did? Is that what pissed her off? He's like, hey, Fiffeld, come here. He just called her by her last name. First name Tina Fiffeld. Apparently he didn't. Apparently, he's a military guy. They're used to calling people by their last names. He's just like, hey, Fiffeld. He had a little too much bass, in his voice when he would say, "Hey, Field, come here, perform your womanly duties." That probably pissed her off. He's like, "Hey, Field, come here, perform your womanly duties on me." That would piss off any woman, actually, especially the last name thing. Okay, I'm gonna leave that subject. But so that set her off. That's probably set her off. I peopled yesterday says, I didn't say not to vote for him. I just said I just said an eye should be kept on him. It's why I said the D is nice. Yeah, and I wasn't speaking just to you. I was speaking in general. There seems to be, in generally speaking, I mean, there's campaigns against him now. There are I don't know what corporate Dems or moderate Dems or establishment Dems or whatever that seem to be that are coming out against him, and they want to fuck the whole thing up. I think they should just shut the fuck up. Let the Mainers decide who they want. And, yeah, so I wasn't really directing that right at you. I was just, like, generally speaking. Jolie says, I think only one was Disney Cruise. MJ about Liberal Dan. MJ Daniel says, family of my uncle's last wife before he passed away lost the family farm they had owned for nearly 100 years. Wow. Because of Ronnie Reagan, and still vote Republican. Can't fix stupid. Can't fix stupid. You can't fix stupid. Let's see, where am I pointing? Oh, no. Can't fix stupid. There's stupid right there. Yeah. Those Ronnie Reagan years were rough, man. They were rough. They were losing their farms, and then they were refinancing and getting these really crazy interest rates, and then they were getting behind and not able to keep up. Then they were foreclosing, and it was just horrible. DPD says Susan Collins also married her lover. She married her lover, who was married at the time. They hooked up. His wife was also dying of cancer. How romantic, said no one fucking ever. Boy, it sounds just like the Newt Gingrich story. Wasn't Gingrich doing that? Wasn't he cheating on his wife, and his wife was in the hospital dying of cancer, and he was cheating on his wife? Just like Newt Gingrich. Wow. Oh, last week. I get an awful picture in my mind when you say fuck Susan Collins. Yeah, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry about that. Because I didn't mean to literally fuck her. So I'm sorry about that. I peeled this. Mr. Spock, nice vid of the motorbike race. Oh, I didn't see that, Mr. Spock. I'll have to look for that. I'll have to look for that motorbike race up there in Canada, I believe. MJ Daniel says the AM radio throughout the Midwest is very evangelical MAGA, brainwashing for all the farmers and their families. Yeah, it's 24/7, 365. Yeah, it's evangelical church shit with, and then everything else. It was Rush Limbaugh. I don't know who they've got now. I think they play old reruns of Rush Limbaugh on some of those stations, and then they put in Sean Hannity and Bill O'Reilly. They dusted his old dusty, crusty ass off, probably, shit like that. And then, of course, Fox News and all that shit. And it's just a steady diet, 375. Yeah, 365, 375, whatever it takes. 24/7. And they're just brainwashed zombies. Of course, I don't even know if zombies have a functioning brain, but I guess that's the whole point. DPD says you can't fix stupid, but you can bleach it. Jolie says my internet was out for 5 days. I called and complained every day. Each day I got something else. They fixed it today. My final haul was they dropped my bill from $125 to $95. Oh, that's nice. You know, get a little break, a little $35 break there, or $30 break. Yeah. Mr. Spock, I'm having wish meat. I wish I was barbecuing meat, laughing out loud, pork chops. Jolie got a free year of Peacock, a $50 credit to my bill, and a free backup device that will work off of cell towers the next time my internet goes out. Wow. Sounds like they did you good, Jolie. They did you good. DPD says, Jolie, do you have Spectrum? Because they have a lot of issues. Ours goes out for 30 or 40 minutes from time to time. It happens. It happens. It happens. I'm going to change this graphic thingy, I think. Let's try something different. What does this thing do? It says social. Oh, look at there. See, there's stuff on here. But it just says stuff about Prism. Prism Live Studio. I don't really need that on here, do I? Prism Live. It's all about Prism. See, there's this. Prism Live Studio. Is that on? Is that showing up? No, it's not, is it? Oh, look at. Oh, and then it goes over here. Prism Live Studio. I can put that over there. But I don't really want that. But let's see. What else is there to do? Let's see, we got caption, lower third, display with a sideline. A simple caption of text that displays clearly on several highlighted lines. What does this one do? So there's that. Is it on there? There it is. Yeah. Let's get the 5K subscribers highlighted. Oh, I don't think the highlighted is supposed to be there. Now it's gone. I don't know. I'm just playing. I'm caught up in the chat, so I'm playing now. You know? Now I'm playing. Mighty Filbert's here. Hey, Mighty Filbert. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Thanks for coming on in. Hey, yesterday or the other day, there was somebody who does a live stream, or they do videos, and they tagged me. I don't know who that was. I don't remember who that was. But if you see them, give them a like. I wish I could tell you who it was. Okay, what else can I do with texting? There's caption. There's stickers. Oh, look at there. Look at there. But it's just all about. I think I've used this one before. Yeah, I've used this one. About liking, subscribing, and sharing. Let's see here. There's clock timer. I've used that. Screensavers. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, we're running out of battery. How long have I been on? Uh-oh. I don't want that on. Almost 2 hours. I did use a bunch of battery, and I forgot to plug the phone in when I was doing my uploads and stuff. So that's probably why I started the show probably well under 100%. So now we're getting to 20%. So that means it's going to start draining pretty quickly. Where's the thing with the thing? Is it this here? Yeah, so that will let me see the battery state of charge. We're at 20%. So I'll keep an eye on that. So we're probably going to have to wrap things up anyhow pretty soon. People yesterday says House Sparks tagged you from Infotainment Wars. Yeah, I know. Was it yesterday? I know on Saturday we got the raid on Saturday after his show on Saturday. So he tagged me. Oh wait, your name is People yesterday. House Sparks tagged you from Infotainment. Well, on Saturday there was that, but there was another person, a small creator, probably has about as many subs as I do actually, who tagged me, and it was a woman, and I don't remember the name of it, but of her channel. Maybe on the next show I'll have the name, and I can tell you guys to go over there and say hi and subscribe and all that stuff. You know, DPD says, Mr. Spock, that sounds delicious. I fixed apple butter pork chops with Mexican corn and grilled asparagus with marinated roasted bell peppers with clamato olives and feta for Sunday dinner. That does sound pretty delicious. That sounds pretty darn delicious there, DPD. I'll tell you what. And I love feta cheese. Whenever you can put feta cheese on something, I'm gonna probably love it. Feta cheese and sun-dried tomatoes. It's a good combination. Yeah. All right. So anyhow, guys, thanks for being here. We got 1 out of 5 on the goal today. Thank you, DPD, for that. There's still 9 minutes, 20 seconds on the goal, by the way. Next show will be on Thursday. I say 9 a.m. I don't know. Maybe I should just make it 9:30. I might make it 9:30. Hopefully that will give me the time I need. So you guys aren't just sitting here waiting. You know what I mean? I don't like to keep you waiting like that. I might just set the time for 9:30. So I can make sure I can get everything, edited and uploaded and downloaded and re-uploaded and all that stuff, So anyhow, but on Thursday, we'll be here again Thursday. And in the meantime, I guess we'll have results of the Nevada primary you know, I don't know if there's going to be any big surprises on that. What's his face? Aaron Ford is the main Democratic nominee who's running for governor. Of course, Lombardo is the incumbent, the Republican MAGA incumbent. If you want to know the truth, I actually didn't vote for Ford. I voted for this other lady, for a lady Democrat. I can't remember her name, but she seemed good. I figured it's a primary and Ford's probably going to win anyway. So I voted for this lady who sounded much more progressive than Ford. But when it comes down to the general, I will vote for whomever the Democrat is. So, you know. But anyhow, that's it for now. I'm just trying to think things to think about for Thursday's show. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. What are we going to talk about? It'll probably be something stupid that Trump did that almost destroyed the world. Probably. You know? Probably something like that. Oh, yeah. There you go with all your doom and gloom there, Trucker John. Trump's going to destroy the world. Oh, yeah. You doom and gloomers. Hey, we're still here. He hasn't destroyed it yet. You know, what's he going to do? Destroy the world and then he can't enjoy his billions of dollars? He doesn't want to destroy the world. He just wants to not go to prison, basically, in a nutshell. And that's what that's about. I don't know there, Tough Cookie. It's kind of worrisome and bothersome and worrisome and wearisome. Leery. I'm leery. I'm kind of leery of the whole Trump thing. He might not just destroy the world, but he sure is making it unpleasant to live in and making it very, making us all nervous. So, and also, you know, this talk about products. I do all that. Trucker John might, but I do, and that stuff is getting expensive. You think the care that goes into this beard is cheap? I mean, come on. You don't get that sparkle without doing some care to it. And those products are getting expensive, and I blame Trump solely. So, you know, fuck you, Trump. That's all I got to say about that. But I want to thank. I'm waiting. There we go. I want to thank you guys so much for being here. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. Trucker John would appreciate it very much. He wants to get to 5,000. Thank you, Purple Beard guy and Tough Cookie guy. And yeah, thank you guys all so much for being here. You guys are awesome. Thanks for liking, subscribing, hyping, and sharing. Thanks for the dono. I do appreciate it. Thanks for all the members. We got members, the memberships, $1.99 a month, $4.99 a month. So thanks for that. And yeah, I'll see you guys on Thursday. The good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, and Trump don't blow up the world. Tough Cookie just shot me a dirty look. All right, guys, so now it's time for the good old words of wisdom. So get out your pen and papers, write this down. Everyone loves words of wisdom. So you ready? Are you guys ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Today's words of wisdom are as, I did not pick my nose. I had a little itch right here, by the way. Are you guys ready? Okay, wait. Okay, so for today's
Well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. We'll have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes. Might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes. But if we did, I'd be only too glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show is over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant, but I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving, who I tried to kid. At least when I was out there driving, I could handle a skid. But doing this live stream, baby, has been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again right here on the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna do it again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream. This is where we win, right here on the Trucker John live stream. No, this time to say goodbye. The show is coming in. Don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Rolling down the highway in my rusty old rig. I'm a retired trucker, but my spirit's still big. Living in Vegas, where the lights never sleep. Broadcasting my thoughts for the world to keep. From politics to pop culture, I've got it all. Sharing my views, no matter how big or small. Talking about food and movies and bugs, shining a light on all the social issues. No shrugs, I've driven through the desert, seen the city so bright. But now I'm living in a different kind of fight. From my apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. In my apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. So you want to take a trip down Paradise Road, but it ain't that pretty, it ain't paved with gold. Everybody's got the dirty little secrets, everybody's got some things unknown. But if you ain't real careful, baby, it'll cut you down to the bone. the glitter. It's all about fight or flight, and you don't wanna do either. So go on down to Paradise Road, it'll make you wish that you were young. But all it'll do is make you feel old and regret trading in your love for lust. It's all just a big charade, it's all just one big game, and it ain't about love. It's all about the thrills, it's about staying in the hunt, it's about going in for the kill. So head on down to Paradise Road, that's where your friends are now. They're the people that nobody knows. So go ahead and make your big show. So live it up on Paradise Road, just don't let anyone know. It'll be your dirty little secret, it'll be your guilty little pleasure. Living a secret that the whole world sees, hiding in plain sight among the scum and the thieves. So damn hard to ever be pleased. Everyone wants to live the good life, everybody wants a piece of paradise. But where would you run? Where would you hide? What would you do to buy a little more time? Grandiose dreams of happily ever after are really just another day's end. And when the sun goes down, you just lay there wondering, can you really do it all again? You're praying for one last shot, you're hoping for one last big win. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along. Feel sad and I don't cry. Sometimes I wonder why it takes so long for evil men to die. But I want you to know that when you go, you won't be missed. And the ground where you'll lay, we're all gonna take a big giant piss. And for your end, we all anticipate, without any love and too exhausted to hate. Your long-lasting legacy will be one of disgrace and shame. Throughout the annals of history, your name will shrink, you'll lose your fame. And as you lay there drawing in your final breath, just know that you made us happiest in death. You will not be thought of kindly, and you won't be missed. And like I said before, on the ground you'll lay, I'm gonna take a big old piss. Show's over, I'm out of here, folks. Bye.